Beloved vessel, these words have never been released in this exact form until this precise hour, and they are aimed only at the one who has stayed the course when the night refused to end. Listen without distraction. What follows is not casual encouragement or a general word for the crowds. It is a direct declaration for the individual who has already walked through fire that would have reduced others to ash. You are that individual. The fact that these lines have reached your eyes or ears is itself evidence that a threshold has been crossed. Turn away now, and you risk missing the precise alignment that has been arranged for this season of your life. I have watched you, not from a distant throne of indifference, but from within the very storms you thought would erase you. Every quiet decision to rise when collapse felt more natural was recorded. Every tear that fell without an audience was measured. Every stretch of silence in which you still chose to believe was noticed. Your journey was never invisible. Your endurance was never wasted. The emptiness you sometimes felt was not evidence of abandonment. It was the space being cleared so that what is now approaching could land without obstruction. This is the moment the waiting begins to turn into the receiving. You may not yet see the full outline of what is shifting, but your spirit already senses the change in pressure. Something prepared is moving toward you, calibrated exactly to the strength you demonstrated when no one was measuring. Stay present. Every sentence that follows is meant to help you recognize the unfolding when it arrives. If these words are already stirring something deep, pause and type Amen as your quiet agreement that you are willing to receive what has been held in reserve for you. Understand this clearly. I do not speak without intention, and I do not select moments like this at random. The timing of this message is not late. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. Even when the landscape around you still looks uncertain, the internal architecture has already been rebuilt. The days you questioned whether anything was still moving were not empty. They were the hours in which foundations were laid beneath the surface of what you could see. Strength that can only be forged in difficulty was being formed in you, so that the weight of what is coming would not crush you. Do not interpret your past struggles as disqualifiers. They were the curriculum. Every closed door, every delayed answer, every disappointment that felt like rejection was shaping discernment. When the right opening appears, you will recognize it instantly. You will walk through it with clear eyes and hold what is given with wisdom rather than desperation. That capacity was not present in the earlier version of you. It was developed through the very pressure you once resented. Type 111 if you accept that the path you walked was purposeful. Feel the weight of this statement, not as burden, but as confirmation. You are not drifting through life without direction. You have been carried through successive storms for a reason that is now beginning to surface. This is not momentary comfort. A genuine realignment is underway. Things will enter your life that others will not understand. People may ask how it happened for you. They may question the timing. You will not need to explain. You will simply remember these words and feel the unbroken line between what you endured and what you are now receiving. You have carried a quiet faith, one that rarely announced itself, one that often lacked visible proof. That faith remained steady when emotions rose and fell. It stayed present when circumstances offered no evidence. That same faith is about to meet tangible confirmation. Stay open. What arrives may not match the exact picture you once painted in your mind, yet it will carry an unmistakable rightness. That inner recognition will be your proof. This is the transition from internal preparation to external manifestation. What has been forming inside you is now ready to take shape around you. You are not stepping into randomness. You are stepping into something that has been specifically arranged. There is a vast difference between hoping for change and being ready to steward it. Many hope. Fewer are prepared. Your readiness has reached the level that could no longer be postponed. What if a brief 7-second mental practice could begin dissolving the weight of debt and open channels of genuine provision? A previously restricted intelligence document has outlined a simple method now being used by ordinary people to shift from financial pressure into greater freedom. Confirmed across 4 independent neuroscience research settings, this quiet home practice is helping individuals move from scarcity patterns into expanded lifestyles, new living spaces, reliable transportation, and experiences once considered out of reach. This information may not remain available indefinitely. Look for the link in the description comments while it is still accessible. Think back to the stretches when nothing seemed to move. Those intervals were not voids. Behind the apparent stillness, arrangements were being made, interferences removed, and pathways cleared. The pace may have felt unjust. The silence may have felt heavy. Both were required. What belongs to you cannot ultimately be stolen. It can be delayed or redirected, yet it cannot be permanently withheld. Type 777 if you place your trust in that truth. You are entering a period in which alignments will occur in ways that feel almost sudden, yet they have been in motion for a long time. There will be moments when you stop and realize that something you once only prayed for is now standing in front of you. It may not wear the exact form you imagined, but the sense of rightness will be undeniable. That sense is confirmation. That sense is peace. Do not rush the arrival. When good finally appears after long waiting, the impulse can be to grasp tightly or to control every detail. Move instead with steadiness. Remain grounded in the same trust that brought you this far. People will notice the change in your life. Some will rejoice with you, others will not comprehend it. Neither response needs to pull you off course. Your path is not required to make sense to every observer. It is meant to be walked with intention and quiet gratitude. The strength you developed in private, enduring without broadcasting the cost, healing in places no one saw, has created a foundation that will not easily crack. What comes to you now will rest on that foundation and remain steady. There is something you must release. Certain disappointments have been carried longer than necessary. Certain moments have been replayed in search of different endings. Those chapters were part of the journey, yet they are not part of the future. Let them go without bitterness, with clear understanding. What did not unfold as expected was making room for what fits more precisely. At the time, it did not feel like provision. Looking back, the clearing becomes visible. You are not moving into confusion or breakage. You are moving into greater strength and clearer sight. Challenges will still appear, yet they will no longer carry the same power to question your worth. They will serve growth rather than erosion. Begin to regard yourself according to what you have become, rather than according to what you survived. The person who began this path is not the same person standing here now. The change may have been gradual and quiet, yet it is real, and it is what makes this season possible. There is a reason these words are spoken to you in this way. You are not merely receiving an external gift. You are stepping into a deeper level of understanding, seeing life through a lens shaped by faith rather than by fear. What comes next will require centeredness. There may be surges of excitement, moments of surprise, even brief overwhelm as movement accelerates. In those moments, remember the strength already built and the faith that carried you. This is not the conclusion of your story. It is the opening of a new chapter that will continue to reveal purpose, resilience, and connection. Even if the outer landscape still looks familiar, the inner world has shifted. You respond differently. You think differently. You carry a quiet awareness that was previously absent. That awareness is the fruit of everything you refused to let destroy you. There were seasons when you felt you were coming apart. What was actually occurring was the separation from what could not travel with you into the next stretch. The process was painful. It was also precise. Type 1212 to claim the miracles already aligned for this season. You now stand in a place where receiving can happen without the same heavy attachments. You are lighter than you may yet realize. A growing clarity is forming, an intuition that something is shifting even when explanation is incomplete. That clarity will expand as you continue. What enters your life will not only alter circumstances, it will alter perspective. You will begin to understand why certain doors closed and why certain roads were removed. Loss will no longer be the dominant interpretation. Alignment will take its place. A steadiness now resides in you that is not easily disturbed. Earlier, stability often depended on external conditions. Now it rises from within. That internal source is one of the most valuable gifts the journey has produced. It will sustain you through whatever follows. Type 222 to receive the blessings prepared for this hour. You are entering a season in which patience begins to display its harvest, not in a single overwhelming wave, but in steady, recognizable increments. Small shifts will appear first. Simple moments will carry deeper meaning. Do not dismiss the quiet signs. The largest transformations often begin with the smallest adjustments. Pay attention to what brings peace, what feels congruent with the person you have become. That is where direction will be found. There may be moments of disbelief. After long uncertainty, improvement can feel unfamiliar. Trust is still required, not blind trust, but informed trust grounded in the preparation already completed. You are not stepping onto unstable ground. You are stepping into terrain carefully matched to your growth, strength, and purpose. You are also being invited to move differently, no longer primarily from fear or hesitation, but from awareness. Choices, words, and actions now carry different weight because you occupy a different internal position. You are no longer merely reacting to life, you are beginning to shape it. A quiet confidence is rising. It may not announce itself loudly, yet it appears in the way you meet situations, respond to pressure, and choose calm over chaos. That confidence cannot be removed. You are also learning to release what no longer aligns, habits, thought patterns, or relationships that do not fit the path ahead. Release is rarely effortless, yet it creates the necessary space for what does belong. There is no demand to force outcomes or accelerate timelines. What is appointed will arrive in its proper sequence and form. Your part is to remain open, grounded, and congruent with who you have become. The present interval between what was and what is arriving holds value. Breathe in it, reflect in it, prepare in it. Even the quiet has purpose. I am guiding every step of this transition. When uncertainty surfaces, when questions arise, the presence remains. You are not traveling alone. Support and protection operate in ways not always visible, yet they are consistent. The declaration made at the beginning stands. These words have never been spoken in this manner before, and they were spoken to you for a reason. You are not an anonymous face in a crowd. You are one who has been shaped, prepared, and positioned for meaning. Continue with trust, with patience, and with a heart willing to receive. What is unfolding is not chance. It is the natural consequence of everything walked through, everything learned, and everything become. A moment is approaching that will quietly confirm all that has been said. It will not arrive with noise or force. It will settle with calm certainty. You will know it by how it feels. Steady, right, and long awaited, even if previously unnamed. Clarity has been sought for a long time, sometimes in directions that only multiplied confusion. Clarity does not come from chasing every external possibility. It comes from alignment with what is already appointed. That alignment is now becoming visible. Things did not come together earlier because growth was still required. Had they arrived prematurely, they might have been mishandled or undervalued. Type 555 as affirmation that the timing is now correct. You are different, more aware of what matters, more careful with energy and time, more rooted in identity. These shifts were gradual, yet they built durable capacity. What approaches will reflect that capacity. It will not destabilize you or pull you away from center. It will add strength, support, and a balance long missing. Opportunities may appear through unexpected conversations, openings, or situations that feel almost too precise to be coincidence. They are not coincidence. They are part of the sequence already set in motion. Stay present. Do not dismiss or overanalyze. The mind sometimes manufactures doubt when something feels too aligned or too accessible. Not everything of value must arrive through prolonged struggle. Some things arrive through readiness. A deeper peace is also settling, not a peace dependent on perfect conditions, but one that remains while things are still in process. That peace is foundation. It will guide and steady you. You are stepping into a fuller understanding of your own worth, measured not by external opinions or past pain, but by who you are becoming. This shift alters movement, speech, and decision-making. Hold firmly to this. Do not return to the earlier version of yourself that doubted value and expected disappointment. That version was shaped by experiences you have now outgrown. You are no longer that person. Old thoughts may still surface. Caution, expectation of letdown, the impulse to hold back. Acknowledge them without following. New awareness is available. The path ahead is one of growth, clarity, and congruence. It is imperfect yet authentic, leading toward what matches the person you have become. Connections with others will also shift. Some will deepen, others will gently recede. Not through conflict, but through natural realignment. Allow the process. Nothing that truly belongs is lost. Space is simply being made for what fits the present chapter. Confidence continues to form. It appears in the handling of difficulty, the making of decisions, and the growing trust in your own capacity. It is not the confidence of knowing every outcome. It is the confidence of knowing you can meet whatever arrives. You are also learning to inhabit the present more fully, neither racing ahead nor clinging to what has passed. Presence allows the details of unfolding to be received rather than missed. What is occurring is transformation, not mere change. It is the gradual alignment of life with purpose, values, and authentic direction. The process continues. As it does, the earlier experiences will make increasing sense. Each challenge, each season of growth, each quiet decision contributed to the present position. Stay connected to what you sense, what you are learning, and the direction of movement. You are being led into clarity, not confusion. I witnessed the moments when expectations were lowered simply to protect the heart from further disappointment. Vision is being restored now, not with empty optimism, but with something durable. What once felt distant is drawing nearer. What once felt impossible is beginning to feel natural. The outer world did not suddenly transform. You did. Understanding deepened. Patience matured. Faith became less dependent on constant external reassurance. That is why what is coming can finally meet you. A quiet, internal correction is also underway. Patterns that once repeated are losing their grip. Different choices are emerging without constant struggle. This is growth in its purest expression, unspectacular yet undeniable. Type 777 if trust remains anchored. A clearer sense of direction is forming, not a rigid map with every step predetermined, but a reliable inner knowing of what feels congruent and what does not. That knowing has been developing for a long time and is becoming more consistent. There will be moments of reflection on how far the path has already brought you. Memory of earlier confusion and heaviness will surface, followed by the realization that those places have been left behind. Movement occurred even in seasons that felt stationary. Hold that awareness. It keeps perspective steady. Progress is not always obvious in the moment, yet it accumulates when forward motion continues. You did not reach this point by accident. You reached it by choosing, again and again, not to stop. Type 222 to receive what has been prepared. Opportunities will be perceived differently. Earlier hesitation is giving way to clearer recognition of alignment. You will sense when something fits and when it does not. Trust that sensing. Not every attractive option is appointed, and not every unfamiliar option is wrong. Decisions are increasingly made from understanding rather than from fear. A balance is forming between patience and action, between reflection and movement. Knowing when to wait and when to step forward removes unnecessary friction. Energy itself is shifting. Negativity and distraction exert less pull. Focus, presence, and intentionality are increasing. Some people will notice the change and fail to understand it. They may question or attempt to draw you backward. Remain unmoved. Not everyone is meant to travel the next segment of the road with you. Separation is occurring for the sake of alignment, not loss. The connections that remain will prove stronger and more supportive. A deeper peace continues to settle, one that does not require perfect conditions. It exists while unfolding is still incomplete. That peace is the anchor. As movement continues, the interconnectedness of the entire journey becomes clearer. Struggles, lessons, growth, and moments of insight all contributed to the present place. Nothing was wasted. Everything carried purpose, even when the purpose was invisible at the time. Trust in yourself is also expanding. Recognition of strength, wisdom, and capacity to continue. That trust will deepen as the next terrain is entered. There is no requirement to force or hurry. What is appointed is already in motion. Remain open, aware, and congruent with the person you have become. Fulfillment will increase, not because every detail is perfect, but because every detail is meaningful. The path that brought you here will be appreciated more fully. Understanding deepens, confidence grows, life begins to reflect the inner clarity and resilience that have been built. Trust becomes essential. Not only trust in external events, but trust in yourself and in the road being walked. Lessons learned cannot be revoked. Understanding gained cannot be erased. These internal resources will keep you steady as new openings appear. One final release is required: the fear of losing what has not yet even been received. That fear once served a protective function. It is no longer needed and will only restrict if carried forward. You are entering a space in which full reception is permitted, without holding back, without anticipating the worst. You are no longer the person who felt uncertain about nearly everything. You are the person who faced uncertainty and kept moving. That is the source of present strength. That is what allows confidence, even while details are still arranging themselves. Type 111 if belief remains. A heightened awareness is growing. Details once overlooked are now noticed. Attention is given to internal responses and to what truly matters. That awareness guides choices toward congruence. The past no longer defines identity the way it once did. It remains part of the story, yet it is no longer the whole of who you are. Learning continues, but residence in the past has ended. That is freedom. Movement itself has changed. It is no longer rushed, forced, or driven by fear. It is steady, intentional, and grounded. This quality of movement produces lasting rather than temporary shifts. Connection to purpose is also strengthening, not by delivering every answer at once, but by providing reliable direction. Certain paths, decisions, and possibilities will feel magnetic. Follow that pull. Comparison with any other journey is unnecessary. What is appointed is unique. The path has been shaped by specific experiences, specific growth, and specific endurance. No one else has walked the identical road, and no one else will receive what is meant for you in the identical way. Why is a brief 7-second method drawn from restricted research spreading so rapidly? Recent disclosures describe a focused mental practice capable of shifting financial patterns with surprising speed. Validated across multiple neuroscience settings, the technique is helping people move from heavy pressure into greater freedom, new living situations, reliable resources, and restored peace of mind. Availability of this information is limited. Access the details through the link in the description and comments before it is withdrawn. Hold the awareness of how far you have already come. Progress accumulates even when it is not dramatic. You arrived here by choosing to continue. The same choice will carry you forward. Opportunities will be recognized with greater accuracy. Energy will remain more focused. Peace will deepen as the reliable foundation. Everything connects. Nothing was wasted. Trust yourself. Stay open. Stay aligned. The next chapter is already in motion, and it is matched to the strength you have proven.